welcome to 2021.
Hopefully it's a better year.
We'll see.
Yeah, we're not going to say anything.
Yeah, right. So we missed last week because it was the holiday season.
A little busy.
A little busy here and there.
With family.
Yeah.
You know.
How were your holidays?
They were good. How was yours?
Lovely.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I sense some sarcasm.
That was good. I mean, well, it's like you get older and you just don't ask for anything for Christmas. I don't.
Well, you get what you want.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah. Like, family was together. That was nice.
Yeah. Did you have, like, a favorite present?
I mean, you know, when you're a kid, you always have that one that, like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. It's like, I mean, last few years, it's been like, yeah, I got a lot of good stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But there wasn't specifically one that stuck out. I got a few books.
The Matthew McConaughey book?
Green Lights, the
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey, which I'm still halfway. I haven't gotten further since we last talked. But
It's a good book.
it's a really good book. I'm not usually one for, like, autobiographies or biographies at all. I don't know. Unless they're really good.
I feel like the way he's doing it is interesting. It's not like he's telling a story.
Yeah. It's like, okay, this is my biography. This is when I was born.
Yeah, right?
This is a chronological order of things that happened.
Yeah.
It's not dry.
No. Well, and he's doing it, like, almost as lessons. Not really, like, life.
And the stories he tells are hilarious.
Oh, my God. Oh, just wait.
Yeah.
They get better.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's definitely worth a read.
Yeah, definitely. Matthew, if you want to come on the podcast and talk about it, that'd be all right.
That would be all right.
That'd be tight. And I got the original Dracula novel.
Oh.
Which, yeah. Because, like, Dracula's awesome. I'm a fan.
You know.
So, got, like, the original novel plus, like, some other short stories that are related.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's dope.
Sounds like really good gifts.
Yeah. Got some clothes.
Always needed.
Right.
Always.
How about you? Anything fun?
I got AirPods.
Ooh, look at you go.
I got those, which I love.
Yeah, they're great.
Oh my gosh. They're gonna help a lot when I'm working remote.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, what else did I get? I got some clothes.
Yeah. That's good for, you know, going out in public.
Because we do so much of that.
Why do I need clothes? We're quarantining.
Right? Yeah, we're totally 6 feet apart. With masks.
Don't worry, government.
Yeah, right.
If you're listening to us, we're 6 feet apart.
Government.
We're actually just calling each other for this podcast. We're not even together right now.
It's a Zoom.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Don't worry. We've stayed the mandated 6 states apart, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gotta do that now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then the year ended as well.
I've never been more happy to see a year go.
Yeah, and like we were watching, you know, the ball drop, and everybody's just like, yeah, okay, bye 2020.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times the hosts will be like, oh yeah, this was such a wonderful year, but we're even more excited for 2021. This is like, no, we hated 2020. It was awful. Let's move on. Let's try to erase this year from our memory.
No one wants to remember this year.
Nobody does.
I mean, there were good things that happened.
Andrea.
But generally, no. Well, for some people. Some people got engaged. I guess that's a good thing. Maybe.
Yeah, some people made more money. Government, big corporations.
Amazon. I mean...
I saw a report that Jeff Bezos could be like the first trillionaire by like 2024.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Like, I'm gonna sound like a hippie, but like, man, what do you need with all that money? Like, I don't know what that makes me sound like, but, like, come on, dude. Like, we
why?
get it.
Why
You
do
make a
need
lot
that
of money. Now, put that to good use. Don't literally... And I'm sure, like, we might have talked about this before, but, like, it's not all hard cash. Like, it's in stocks and, like, this and that.
Sure.
And, like, he doesn't have $1 trillion in his pocket right now, right?
No, it's all in stocks, and so... Or, not all, but...
Right.
I'm sure a lot of it is in stocks.
But at the same time, it's like, dude, seriously, like... And again, I'm going to sound like such a hippie for this, and I hate myself for it, but it's like, dude, you could literally solve world hunger, like, on your own. Or, like, put that...
Is that wrong?
Yeah, like, sell off some of your stocks, like, I don't know.
I remember reading somewhere... I don't know. I'm not an economist, so... Or finance, I don't know. But they were like, it's not that easy. And I was like, but it is.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it would be. And if Amazon
like, have you ever heard about like donating money?
Oh, I think what it was is that if he does that to, like, you know, if he sells some of his stocks, it would impact Amazon financially. I don't know.
Oh, my heavens.
How?
As if Amazon could...
Well, the only bad thing about that is then other people would be laid off of their job at Amazon.
Oh, yeah?
So that would be the only thing is, like, workers would get laid off.
Why would you want to work for that company anyway?
I mean, they give you health care.
Just like every company legally should.
I mean, I feel like even if you're an independent contractor, you should.
Right?
But, you know, I digress.
Look, listen. Lay off some people. They'll go where... I don't know where you're going to go. Target, Walmart.
Hey, it's just letting opportunity for smaller businesses to succeed.
Go. Yeah.
Just saying. I mean, just throwing it out there.
Look, if Amazon, like, was no more, we'd find a way.
We'd be okay.
Like, heaven forbid we buy from small businesses.
Heaven forbid we have to go out.
Oh my gosh, I don't have 2-day shipping, I just have regular shipping.
Oh, you poor thing.
Oh, how will I survive?
You know what? I actually hate buying online.
Yeah.
I like that instant gratification, though. Like, I like going to the store.
That's, like, most of my Christmas gifts that I bought were in store.
Yeah, I bought some off Amazon for the kids.
Okay, yeah.
But generally, I would even try to go to, like, smaller businesses, even, like, on Etsy.
Right. Oh, yeah. I love Etsy.
I would rather support someone...
Right.
Than Target. Like, Target doesn't need it.
Yeah. And
I mean, I love Target, but...
I have bought from Etsy, and, like, they'll send you a note. It's like, thank you so much for buying from me.
Right.
Because it means more to them than it does for...
Target,
or...
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, those people appreciate it.
Yeah.
And plus, you're getting something that, like, it's not just being manufactured.
Right. Like, as great as your AirPods are.
Right.
I
do
mean...
we really need them?
Apparently you do.
I mean... It's a want, not a need.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's... Because I always try to do, like, resolutions and all that for the new year, but I think one of them for me is just start buying local more.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And also just generally have a better year than last year. I think that's for everyone, though. I feel like this year's New Year's resolutions are just more simple. Yeah. I mean, of course, the big one is, like, you know, we're going to start working out, eating right. I always make that. Everybody does, though. But, I mean, and this is another little advertisement, but Chris Hemsworth kind of started, like, a workout program, like, online. He did? Yeah, which I started, like, in the spring, early summer last year. Interesting. Is it, like, on YouTube? It's like its own website. It's called Center.
Do you have to pay for it, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, but I have my account, so I mean,
You know.
if you need something, I got it. But
And are
cool.
they good workouts?
Yeah, they're really good. Like it's variety from beginner to advanced. You can use equipment or have no equipment at all. Like use your own body weight.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like you can do it at home, and you can do it without any like workout materials.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they also have like healthy recipes on there too and stuff, which is awesome.
I need to look into that.
Yeah. So I guess for me it's like just because I've already laid the foundations and like got that started, but it's just doing that more.
I feel like that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
It's not like, okay, the workouts can be hard.
Yeah.
But it's getting to
getting to that point. Yeah.
Or like.
But if you can do it at home, like that's so much easier.
I mean, but even for me, like we have a treadmill downstairs, and it's the hardest. Like I don't know why. That's the challenging part is actually going down there.
Yeah, getting in that mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other one for me is like and everyone is like clean eating, like because that's the thing is like you can work out all day long, but if you're piling in an entire sleeve of Oreos, that's not going to help.
Right.
Right. So.
Well, yeah, you have to. I mean, I feel like you should work out regardless, but yeah, you also need to watch what you're.
Yeah. Well, it's like if I run 3 miles on a treadmill, but I eat an entire bag of chips, it's like I never ran those 3 miles.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I feel like that's some people's mentality is like, ooh, okay, if I work out, I can have that bag of chips.
Yeah.
Well,
you can.
You can, but
if you're trying to lose weight or gain muscle, like, you gotta do both.
Exactly. Well, and I think I say this, but I don't practice it. But there is a direct correlation to what you eat and how you feel and working out. Like, there just is.
Yeah, and I think when I've tried to do this in the past, in terms of clean eating, I've kind of gone to extremes where it's like, okay, I can't have this, I can't have that. Like, absolutely cut it out of my life entirely. Where it's like, no, you can have it, just limit it.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, sugar is like you can only have like. And only like natural sugar is good, so like fruits and stuff.
Well, I think that's the problem is there's a lot of these fad diets, like gluten-free, keto,
like dude, just eat right.
They don't work.
Right.
Because if you limit yourself, I feel like restricting things gives you an unhealthy relationship with food.
Yeah. Like, you can have carbs, just don't overdo it. Like,
I feel like a low-carb diet's fine, right?
Like, don't eat an entire loaf of bread in one day. But if you have it... I wish. But, like, if you have a sandwich with 2 pieces of bread, like, that's fine.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, the only time I tend to try... Well, I should go more lower carb because carbs can go into sugar.
Yeah.
And, like, there's family history of diabetes, so I want to watch that.
Right.
Understandable. Okay. But that's still not limiting, like, how keto does, where you only can have, like, 23 to 24, what are they, grams?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Grams,
of carb.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot.
Yeah.
At all. Because a lot of things have carbs that you don't realize.
Right.
Like fruit has carbs.
Yeah. Or those people that are like, I'm going to have no sugar, but they eat an apple. It's like, okay, apples have natural sugar in them.
But that's sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want
It's a better sugar, but it's still sugar.
Yeah. You don't want that, what do they call it? Like the saturated sugar?
Yeah. Or whatever. The naughty kind.
The naughty kind.
The one your doctor wags his finger at you for?
Yeah.
Like, no.
No. Stop eating those Oreos.
No more Snickers.
But you're not you when you're hungry.
You're right, I'm better.
I turn into a celebrity, okay?
And then there are also those things that it's like, nobody eats red meat or like less red meat, which I'm actually okay with because I don't eat a whole lot of red meat.
Yeah, like that doesn't.
Like I'll do like chicken, turkey.
We eat a lot. My mom makes a lot of chicken.
Yeah.
And like, but you can have like. I mean, I'm sure once a week it's fine if you have like a steak or a hamburger or.
Right.
Like, you don't need to limit things, just moderate it.
Yeah. Which I think that's what people don't really understand is like, they think they need to absolutely cut it out or they're not going to get better. It's like, no.
Right.
Well, because that's how a lot of people fail diets. Is because
You're restricting yourself.
They limit it so much to the point where they go crazy and then they just give up.
Well, it's not sustainable.
You're not you when you're hungry.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And listen, I tried keto, which actually I felt like keto fit a good lifestyle for me because I could go out to a restaurant. But the only problem is like because what keto does is it burns off your sugar or your fat instead of your muscle, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was like my ADHD symptoms were worse because my medicine was.
There you go.
My metabolism was revved up, so the medication was running through me faster. So I feel like you can't. You also have to take those things into effect too when you're restricting things, is because it does affect you mentally. Mm-hmm. What you eat. Yeah. No matter who you are. Right. Hence, you're not you when you're hungry.
Hey, eat that Snickers.
Eat it.
But just like maybe once a week, once a month,
Frozen Snickers are the best.
Yeah. Have you ever had those Snickers ice cream bars?
Yes.
Those are good too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man.
The best.
Anyway. Happy 2021.
Hop on that tangent.
Whatever your resolutions are, man, stick to them.
Yeah.
Unless it's like illegal, right? Don't do that then.
Yeah. Good things.
Yeah, right.
Do good things. Let's be like all just nicer to people.
But like the people that
unless it's
like the people that actually have to be nicer to people, they're not even aware. Like they're not. No.
But they're the ones that preach it.
Right. Be nice to people. You're not being nice to me.
Wait, you're not being nice to. What? Oh, the hypocrisy.
Oh, are those the people that are like rioting and looting? Love people. Okay, what?
Right? Well, that's what I thought was so funny is because it's like they're I don't even know if you can call it protesting, but rioting. Yeah. And looting. Yeah. For Black Lives Matter. But they're burning down Black-owned businesses. It's like, but you're. What? Right. Like I'm glad you're out there like protesting police brutality. Right. But like, why you got to destroy other people's livelihood? Right. Over here. Yeah. And those people that are like, black or like racial equality, but like they'll only focus on black people and like everyone else like they don't really care about. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's equal. Uh-huh. Yeah, I just feel like everyone's I don't even know. There's a very like us versus them. Yeah. Kind of thing going on, and it's that doesn't promote unity. Yeah. And it's like the digital age of like the internet and stuff where people think that they're right. Well, yeah, because they feel like they have like everybody's, especially this year because we're quarantined and like we have all this alone time, right? To kind of focus on ourselves and
create our own opinions, and of course, like human beings, every single person wants to believe that they're right.
Well, of course.
And if they don't, and if like some of those people are super stubborn, where like if they like if someone proves them wrong, then they don't accept it. Mm-hmm. They just get angry.
Right. Well, so there's a thing in like social psychology where we search out information that confirms our beliefs.
Yeah.
So like we're not looking for information that is like
accurate
or is going to actually tell us the truth. We're looking for information that's going to say, hey, no, this is what you believe.
Yeah.
And this is right.
Yeah. This was a long time ago, like early last year, when like the pandemic was hitting and everyone like was having to limit their households or whatever. Like I posted a joke on Facebook about like, I don't know, it's like I don't care about the rules. Like I'm gonna hang out with my family because it's my family. Mm-hmm. Like screw like the limiting households or whatever. And like one of the Facebook friends, which I mean I deleted him now, but like he like starts calling me names, posts an article about like this is why masks are helpful and this is why like
it's like so emotional.
Yeah. And like, dude, all right, delete.
Yeah.
Not because like I want to be mean, but because like you're taking this way too far and I don't want to associate myself with you.
Well, yeah, it gets to a point where it's like if I'm not allowed to speak my view on something.
And also, like, I posted a joke.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't take the joke...
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, realize when someone is being funny.
Like, this is why, like, especially this year, comedians are nervous because they can't tell jokes without somebody getting pissed off at them.
Well, right. Because something is going to offend someone.
Right. And now, like I said, with, like, technology and the internet, like, you can, like, one person can end someone's career just because, like...
Yeah, that's why cancel culture is such a bad thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like a lot of comedians, which kind of gets onto our topic, but...
nice little segue.
Yeah. I feel like that's why a lot of comedians are very much, like... I don't know. I feel like if you're, especially stand-up, right?
Yeah.
If you look at most of the comedians, they're more of that rebellious, like...
Yeah.
Anarchy kind of attitude people.
Right.
Because, and so they're kind of like standing up against that because like, no, enough's enough. Like,
right.
We are going to not... Where would comedy be if everything is going to be offensive?
Yeah. And this is always the thing that, like, confused me about, like, stand-up is someone will say, like, oh, I don't, like, that joke that comedian said is offensive, and I don't really like it. It's like, then why are you listening to that comedian?
Right.
Like, if you're so offended by them, why are you listening to them?
Like, if there's a comedian that I'm, like, not necessarily offended by, but, like, I'm like, okay, I didn't find your jokes that funny.
Right.
Because you're kind of going on a topic that I disagree with. I just don't watch them.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. I don't get mad.
Like, literally, it's the internet. Just turn it off.
Yeah, I don't get mad.
Go watch someone that you do like.
What?
What? Like, yeah. For me, like, specifically, like, I'm not a huge fan of Amy Schumer.
Yeah, I don't like her stuff.
Yeah. But I'm not going to sit there, watch her show... and then write a blog about how much I hate her.
Exactly.
I'm going to go watch Bill Burr because I like Bill Burr.
Well, and I think you sent it to me, or was it when we were watching? But Bill Burr put it perfectly. He's like, okay, when there were no phones, when there were no, or you can actually record, stand up, he's like, you could say whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
Because you might get one or two people mad in the crowd. He's like, but that's it.
Right.
Now, the whole internet.
Yeah. Well, and it went off to say, like if someone's offended by a stand-up comedian's joke, then that's the person that's going to go to a reporter and do that interview.
It's never the positive.
No. Like, they're going to get that one negative review out of 1,000 people.
Yep.
Okay, this one person hated it, and that's the one that's going to publish the article. But what about the other 999 people that liked it?
Exactly. But also, kind of going back to your point of, you just don't watch Amy Schumer. It's like, you go to a comedy show knowing who the comedian is.
Like, unless you're going
most
to,
of
like,
the time.
I mean, unless you're going to, like, one of those hole in the grounds where, like, everybody's doing it for the first time.
Right.
But if you go to see Bill Burr, like, he's been around.
You know his style. You know his jokes. Like, so if you're going to be offended, why are you going?
Right.
Why are you
like,
paying
you bought
money?
a ticket.
Why are you paying money? Or, it's even easier on the internet. Just exit.
That's free.
Just don't watch it.
Like, that's why I go on YouTube and I see, like, all these negative comments, negative likes. And it's like, okay, why are you watching this then?
Exactly.
Nobody's forcing you to watch this.
You know how many times I've watched a video on, like, or I'll get in the YouTube, like, deep hole of, like, with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and people have opinions that I'm like, excuse me?
Excuse me?
You are sticking up for Amber Heard? And what do? I pause it and go to a different video.
There you go.
It's not that hard.
Anyway, that's our rant, I guess. But on the topic of comedians.
Yeah.
We're doing our deep dive for Dana Carvey, which is... I mean, okay, I'll say we both really like him, but I think that you're a little more obsessed than I am.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I'm not obsessed, but I do love him.
Yeah. Like, I'm a huge fan, too.
I love him.
It's just I think you've seen more of his stuff, maybe, than I have.
Maybe more of his stand-up.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like Chris Farley, he kind of has, like, two sides. Like, SNL / like, stand-up.
And stand-up.
And then there's the other section, which is, like, film.
Yeah. Which I kind of feels, like,
parts.
lumped into SNL in a way.
Maybe. Yeah.
Like, film, SNL, like, TV,
Yeah.
movies, stand-up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's underrated.
I think so. I mean, like, of course, so many people know who he is, but at the same time...
The younger generation doesn't, which is so sad. They're
Yeah.
missing out on Garth.
They are. And I know that there are some younger generations that don't really know Chris Farley either. Like, they never saw the Matt Foley.
It's so, like...
It's sad.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
To
like,
even, like... I feel like there's not even... The younger generation, like, doesn't really appreciate Mike Myers either.
Yeah.
And, like...
You don't appreciate Shrek?
Right? I mean, when I was younger, like, I loved Austin Powers.
Yeah.
So, like, I knew he was funny, but then you look back and you're like... Especially with the comedy that's coming out now.
Yeah.
I'm like... He's underrated, too. Like,
yeah.
all of that group is so funny.
Yeah.
And it's sad that the younger generation doesn't know them.
And that's like the golden era of SNL.
Mm-hmm.
Like that group. Mike Myers, Dana Carvey, Chris Farley.
Adam Sandler, David Spade. Yeah, like...
Yeah. It was a good group. It was the best group.
Steve Martin's group was good, too.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think that was, like, its peak.
Yeah.
Like, for sure.
Yeah.
That was its peak. But I think I was talking to someone who was younger, and she had no clue who Dana Carvey was.
It's just sad.
No clue what Wayne's World was. I was like...
Yeah. My heavens.
Excuse me? You just hurt my heart. That's when you have to go into the... Party on, Wayne. Party on, Garth. Oh, man. But I don't know why. He's like, so him, Chris Farley, and Robin Williams, I feel like are the three comedians And sometimes Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Most of Jim Carrey's stuff.
He's kind of different because he wasn't really on SNL.
Yeah, he wasn't. But I feel like those are the comedians that no matter what they do.
Yeah, it's golden.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, a few of them aren't with us anymore, but...
Right?
Which breaks my heart.
R.I.P. But Dana Carvey, I feel like, is literally one of the only comedians that his stand-up is just... There's not one joke where I'm like, all right.
Right.
Dana.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that, like, if he gets into the political field for his stand-up, like, he makes jokes across the board.
That's what I love about him, right?
Like, he doesn't only make fun of Republicans or Democrats. It's both.
Yeah. But he doesn't even really, like... He'll get to some of the political ideology.
Yeah.
But, like, he really does it on, like, mannerisms of the people.
Yeah.
And, like, he just kind of takes them and, like, magnifies it a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I mean, like, John Mulaney, he's hilarious. But you know he doesn't like Trump.
Yeah.
From his jokes, right? You know,
right,
he takes that political stance where Dana Carvey doesn't. Like, you don't know where his political linings are.
Yeah.
Because he's just, I mean, he makes fun of Bernie, but then he'll make fun of Trump.
Yeah.
Equally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's fair to Trump. Like, I think one of my favorite things is, like, the thing about Trump is, if you are in line with him, you want him on your side.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you're not wrong.
Right.
Like, he fights, but, like, that's what I love about Dana Carvey, like, the comedy, because the political, he does it in a great way.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't isolate anyone.
Yeah.
But he's still getting those little digs in.
Yeah.
Like, I love with the comedy special that I showed you where he was talking about Bernie.
Yeah.
He's like, you look like a rich prick. I'm going to take from you.
It's true, though. I mean...
Exactly. And then with Trump, and he's like, he sometimes he's like a seal. He's like, okay. So it's great. Like, he's just...
It's wonderful.
That's what I love about him. And that's why he's so good at impressions, because he like, studies people's mannerisms.
Yeah. And that's also why he was so fitting for the role of Master of Disguise. Which... If you haven't seen that, you have to.
It's such an underrated movie.
Dude, and it got, like, one of the lowest ratings on Rotten Tomatoes ever.
No one liked it. But
I loved it.
But everyone quotes it.
Yeah. I love it.
Everyone literally quotes it.
And what did they quote? Turtle Club?
Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
Dude, if you ask my parents, like, when that movie came out, I was obsessed. I would watch it all the time.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And, yeah, like I said, like, he does so many... Because it's, like, the basic premise is he's a master of disguise. Like, so he does...
Yeah.
He puts on, like, whatever, like, masks and, pretends to be other people.
Yeah, he disguises himself.
Yeah.
That's, like, the best ways. He's, like, really good at, like... just transforming himself into a other person. And
then he changes his voice, which is why Dana Carvey is so good at that role, is because he can do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because, like, at the very end of that movie, he does George Bush and, like, a few others.
I remember seeing an interview, because he did George Bush on SNL.
Yeah.
And he said he gets this call, like, one day from... And he answers it, and it's George Bush.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was actually him or his people.
Right.
But they invited him to the White House because George Bush, like, loved his impression of him.
Yeah.
So much. And he's like,
right.
Oh my God. But, like, I think that's what he's known for, is just his impressions and how he, like, just really gets.
Yeah. Because that's, like, a skill.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you can't just do that, like...
No.
Yeah.
No. And he's just really, like... I don't know. He's just great at it.
He's really talented. Like, more so than people give him credit for, I think.
Oh, 100%. Because if you look at what he does, it doesn't look like he tries hard.
But that's, like, what makes it great. It's because he doesn't need to try that hard because it's just natural.
But he studies these people.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen interviews with him, and he's like, you know, I don't know who he's talking about. He was like, oh yeah, I was trying to learn this new impression.
Yeah.
And of this one new person, he's like, and I was just watching interviews, and I noticed they did this, this, and that. And so, like, he actually, like, studies so he can do those little mannerisms that a lot of people just don't catch.
Yeah, like, you can't study someone for 30 seconds and expect to do a good impression.
Right.
Like, you gotta know, like, what they do, what makes...
Exactly.
Like, what did they do that you could pull from and make it funny?
Mm-hmm. Well, he said even, like, when he played Wayne, that was his brother.
Yeah.
He was playing his brother.
Right.
So, he's just, like, he's pulling from somewhere.
Yeah.
That he knows. And he's known for a while. But I really feel like people just don't really... They underestimate just how much talent he actually has.
Yeah.
Which is why he's my favorite. I love him. He follows me on Twitter.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Oh, boy.
I was so happy.
What are some of your favorite SNL stuff by him? Movies?
So, I love, obviously, everyone's obvious answer, Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Because that's just great.
Yeah.
But I love The Church Lady.
Okay.
Because it's just, I can't even describe it. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like he started that whole Satan. What was that line? He's like, oh, could it be Satan? Or isn't that special? What else did he do on SNL? He did... I feel like The Church Lady and Wayne were his biggest.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's done other stuff.
Yeah.
But those two are the only thing coming to mind.
Yeah. I knew those and I knew Bush, but yeah. I'm like kicking myself because like before this I hadn't seen a whole lot.
I feel like he might have done, I feel like SNL for him, I feel like those were just his big characters.
Yeah.
I feel like when he was on, every cast member had their like characters.
Mm-hmm.
So they weren't doing all these different kinds of skits. They were just doing a skit of that character, right?
Right.
So I feel like he only had oh no, he wasn't in that. That was Mike Myers, who had like, he would do the old Jewish woman.
Oh yeah.
I love Master of Disguise.
It's great.
Those three are the best Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
Like,
we need to bump those review scores up though.
Yeah. I don't know why people did not like it.
I don't know. I mean, it's like a goofy comedy and it's kind of like stupid comedy, but it's funny.
Exactly. I mean, he's like, I don't know, just watching him do the impressions in different disguises as funny as it is.
Yeah. It's just entertaining.
I'm trying to see what else he was in. I'm looking it up right now. Oh, he was in Little Nicky?
All right.
Why did I not remember that? He was like in a lot of, he wasn't in a lot of movies.
Yeah. He was in some stuff in the beginning, but that was more like, kind of getting started.
Yeah, and, he left Hollywood for a while.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, I was looking at his film history, and there's there's kind of a gap in there.
Yeah, he left. I think he took a break.
Yeah.
For a while, and then just kind of came back.
Mm-hmm.
But.
Well, he didn't really. Yeah, and even when he came back, like, he just did a few things here and there, like, not a whole lot.
Yeah, I feel like he tries to stay out of Hollywood.
Which, it's a good thing, probably.
Just a bit. I'm trying to see what else he did on. He did a lot on SNL, but
yeah,
I feel like those are the most memorable.
Yeah, for sure.
And those are just. And have you seen some of the funny, like, the church ladies where he, oh my God, who was he talking? He was interviewing this person, and he was just being ruthless to them.
Really?
Like, it was like a big, I think it was like a wrestler.
Really?
And it was so funny.
Yeah.
And then I remember one of my favorite episodes of the church ladies. He had Fred Savage on.
Okay.
And he was dressing up as his, like, nephew.
Right.
Dressed up in the same costume. He's like a little mini church lady. And they're doing that weird church lady dance that he does. Just
right.
both of them. It's great. He's just genius.
Yeah, and then the stand-up special that we watched, that was more recent, like in the last year or two, right? Maybe not. Maybe a little further back.
Maybe a little further, but yeah.
More recent, though.
It was. He was 60.
Okay.
Because that was the title of it, like 60 white and male.
Which is insane to think that he's 60 now.
He doesn't look it.
No.
One.
He doesn't act like it.
He doesn't act like it. But it is, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess I just, like, have that picture in my head of him in the 90s, early 2000s, like a younger Dana Carvey, and that's just what my mind goes to.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And with his, like, frilly bang.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I feel like it would be the same if Chris Farley were alive today. Like, I would see that 90s version of him, right?
For sure.
Like that Tommy Boy. I wonder if they would ever do a Tommy Boy 2 if he were still around.
I feel like they would.
Maybe.
It's just so sad.
It is.
Because he would have been in Grown Ups. Like, I can't watch Grown Ups and look at Kevin James without being like, I was supposed to be Chris Farley.
Out of all of them, like, sorry, Kevin, but that probably would have been Chris's role.
Yeah, Adam Sandler said it.
Yeah.
In his song to him.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
It's been a while, but yeah.
He even says, like, he's like, if you were, we'd be on a plane filming Grown Ups too right now. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. Well, because, like, in that film, like, you know, Adam has to stay in it. David Spade.
Well, it's their whole group, right?
Yeah, it's that whole group. Chris Rock.
Yeah. Yep, David Spade, Adam, Chris Rock, Rob Schneider. They're all together. But, yeah, I don't know.
And it's cool that whole group is still kind of, like, close.
It is.
You know?
It is. I feel like they overlapped a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. With Carvey's group on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. Because,
like, I think Dana Carvey, his group was, like, him, Mike Myers. Mm-hmm. Who else was on it at that time?
I don't even know.
Like, maybe Kevin Nealon.
Okay. Yeah.
Who's that older guy that used to do the Weekend Update?
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Colin Quinn.
Yeah.
But I feel like they might have overlapped like a year or two where they were
maybe
on it together. But I think even him and Mike are still, like, Dana and Mike are still close too.
Yeah.
Because they've done, like, little skits for Wayne's World together recently.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool.
Right.
That, like, Adam's group kind of stayed close, and then...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool.
Because when you think about it, if you watch Adam Sandler movies, you know certain people are going to be in it.
Yeah, right.
Like, he always has...
Mm-hmm.
Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Snyder, always.
Yeah.
You can do it.
You can do it.
This isn't about Adam Sandler. But yeah, no, I think what we were saying earlier is he always kind of goes with the truth of things.
Yeah.
In his comedy, like if you watch his stand up,
mm-hmm.
he goes for like the truth of it, right?
Yeah.
Like when he was talking about teenagers.
Right.
He's like, bunch of fucking bullshit. That's
Yeah.
true. Teenagers do act like that.
Yeah.
Or even when he was talking about Hitler, which was, I don't know why I find that hilarious. And he was like, he was just so powerful when he spoke, but no one can sustain that.
Right.
Like, you're not wrong.
Right.
You're not wrong. He probably did go off stage and it was like, oh, I'm so tired.
I need a martini.
I love how he played his voice like so feminine. So great. And he's like, you process cookies. I have one cookie. I put it down. You have one cookie. You have to have 1,000 more. It's so funny.
It is.
You liked that comedy special, right?
Yeah.
I know. He's so... I don't know.
Yeah, it's good.
I like that comedy, though, when it gets to the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I like him. Because it's like... I mean, I've seen that comedy special how many times? And I still laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
Which most? Like, Dane Cook, I'll laugh the first time.
I haven't heard from him in a long time, though. Like, or I'll say, seen any of his stuff.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
He hasn't done much
Yeah.
recently. He was more raunchy, though, too.
Yeah, like, I could watch him, but, like, not for a long time.
Yeah.
Just, like, here and there, you know?
I went and saw him live once.
Did you?
And they were like, you can go forward. Like, we can move your seats up. And me and my friend were like,
No.
no. We're good. We don't need to be anywhere in his vision.
I don't know. I'm just kind of drawn to, like, that goofy comedy, though. You know?
I think
like,
that's why I love Dana. Because it is that goofy.
yeah,
Just like
childish. Like, I'm going to be a weirdo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, sprinkle a little truth in there.
Yeah. Like, that's why I love Master of Disguise, and, like, that's why I love Tommy Boy with Chris Farley, because it's, like, it's just stupid humor.
Oh, it is.
Like, I don't know why I'm laughing at this, but I am.
Like, okay, like in Tommy Boy, when he's like, fat guy in a little coat, like, it's not funny, but it's hilarious.
But it's an iconic line, too. Like, everybody knows that
Everyone
line.
knows it.
Yeah.
Like, I posted on my Instagram,
Yeah.
like, that I was, Chris Farley and David Spade, and I was like, Tommy Boy. And I got at least 4 people responding going, fat guy in a little coat. And I'm like, yes. It's an iconic, like...
Yeah.
But it's not inherently funny, but it is.
Right.
And I think those are the best.
Right.
Where it's just like, there's no reason to be laughing at it, but it's funny.
Yeah.
So I'm going to laugh at it.
But, like, with Dana Carvey and, like, kind of the truth and stuff with his impressions, it's like him doing George Bush. It's like, those impressions are spot on.
Oh.
And that's what makes them funny.
Oh. They're totally spot on.
But that's what makes it funny, is, like, they're so exaggerated. The movements and the voice and all that.
I guess George Bush's hands were all over the place.
Which is true.
It is true. He's, but he does it, like, more than,
Right, of course.
But, like, that's what makes it so good, is because you can look at it and be like, that's how he acts.
Right.
Like, even when he was talking about Trump, and he's like, if he was against global or warming, you want him on his side because he'd be like, I can make a lot of ice. I'm going to make the glaciers pay for it. A lot of ice, believe me, I know these people. And that's how Trump is, though. Yeah. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
He's got it down pat.
Right.
He's got it. I think that's like the best part of like his comedy is because you don't have to think.
Yeah.
It's just like mindless, funny.
Yeah. And that's what I hate about people that, in my mind, just don't have a sense of humor and get offended by stuff. Like, because he'll make a Trump joke or a Trump impression, and people will be like, oh, he hates Trump. Like, I don't like it. Really? He's making a joke.
Yeah, but he's not even like, okay. Like, compare his joke of him saying about how Trump with the glaciers, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I know these people. Believe me. Compared to John Mulaney.
Yeah.
And the way he jokes about Trump, there's more of a...
I'm not a fan of him.
Yeah, there's a word, though. There's more of like a... Oh my gosh. I don't know what that word is, but malicious.
Yeah.
Thing to the joke.
Yeah.
Then,
it's like when you say bad stuff about him, like you're joking, but you kind of mean it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And you can kind of pick up on that too.
Yeah. Well, there's more of like a darkness to like Mulaney's jokes about Trump. Like,
yeah. And also if you're gonna be equal, like you can make fun about Trump, but also make fun of like Biden or Sanders.
Right.
Like you can make fun of Trump all you want, but like also make fun of the other side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like that's what I love about how Dana Carvey did it. Like, yeah, he was making fun of Trump.
Yeah.
But he was pointing out how Trump is.
Yeah.
There wasn't like any jokes of how he runs the country or how he does X, Y, and Z. It was just, this is how he is.
Yeah.
This is the truth of it.
There's a difference between doing a mannerism and actually calling him out for
exactly
stuff, you know?
Exactly. But then he calls...
Because now it just feels like you're up on a platform.
And you're spewing your opinion.
Yeah. And it's like, it's almost like not even funny at this point. It's like, you're just on your soapbox, like expressing your opinion.
Exactly.
Like, are you even doing stand-up comedy?
Right. Well, and I will say, the one thing Mulaney did it okay.
Yeah, like better than some people.
Better than some. The only thing I will say I give him credit for is he was like, when they fight with facts, and then you're like, do not come with me at facts. So like he threw that in too. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
Right.
But like, and Mulaney didn't stay on Trump for too long either.
No.
At least the one comedy that I saw. He didn't stay.
Well, and that was the one that, because I don't think the others that came before that he really even talked about politics at all. Yeah,
because I think he said in this one he really normally doesn't, but you kind of have to.
Yeah, right.
But it's not like Kathy Griffin who held up Trump's severed head.
I forgot about that.
It's like, no, that's not comedy. That's not...
How is that funny?
That's not anything. Yeah. That's actually super, like...
Insane?
Sane, disrespectful. Just,
like...
Which is so funny because everyone's like, he's such a dictator. I was like, do you see what people are saying about him? If he was a dictator, they'd all be dead.
Right. And that's the thing is, like, there are some people that I went to high school with that I'm not a fan of. I'm not going to hold up their decapitated head and put it online.
Right.
Like, I'm going to poke fun at them, do their mannerisms.
Right, exactly. But, and I don't know if it's a generational thing.
I don't know. With
Dana, but I feel like his comedy is just like, yeah, he made fun of Trump, but then he went and made fun of Clinton. And then he went and made fun of Bernie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, I think it's also the people that are so far left or so far right that they absolutely hate the other side. So, like, even if they try to make jokes on both sides...
It doesn't work.
quote unquote jokes about the other side, it's just going to come off bad.
Yeah. Or I feel like a lot of like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of comedians in like his age group and even maybe like a little younger.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I feel like they have that more like anarchy, like like vibe to them politically, like where they're just like, I'm gonna say what I want.
Yeah. And I think it's also what makes it better is like the people that have kind of a in the middle mindset. Like they're not like leaning necessarily left or right, or even if they do, they make sure they poke fun at both sides.
Well, yeah, because you don't want to alienate
like half your audience.
Exactly, you know, and I feel like that's why, and I don't know if you noticed in the comedy special, it wasn't like when he was talking politics, it wasn't politics. He was just talking about the people themselves.
Yeah.
He did go off on socialism, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, right.
But even that, he did it in a way where he's like, it's, what did he say? Like capitalism is an Apple store?
Yeah.
And socialism is, I forgot what he said it was.
I don't even remember. Some off-brand.
Yeah, it was like some random.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and it's like, okay, you're right.
Right.
So I feel like I feel like that's the way you do it, because you're not alienating a side.
Right. Like, okay. Like if we poked fun at each other, like I could poke fun of you,
right,
and have it be lighthearted. But if I suddenly start attacking you for being Armenian,
it's a little different.
That's a little different,
right?
Because like I'm not just poking fun at you; I'm actually,
right,
like,
yeah,
making hurtful jokes about your culture.
Right.
Although it's kind of different for me because I'm German. So if you make fun about me for a sketchy German history and be like, okay, that's fair. That's fine. I deserve it.
But that'd be different than someone being, oh, you're German, you're a Nazi.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's not funny.
You're a white guy, blonde hair, blue eyes, and you're German. Oh, you're a Nazi.
Nazi.
You're like, well.
That's not funny. Like, that's not super, like.
Well, that's just not true.
Right.
I'm not one for following orders.
I liked cookies too much, so I didn't listen to Hitler. No, but like, there's also that point, like, the way they, like, some comedians take a joke, like, where they do it in, like, the same premise of that.
Yeah. And
they generalize too much.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
Right.
Because now you're alienating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can. Because it's comedy, so you do what you want to do.
And if, like, one or two people get offended, like, okay.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, you kind of go into, at least I feel like comedy, knowing there might be something offensive.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. This was a comedian that I listened to, and he said, any joke that you tell is going to be offensive to someone. Mm-hmm. There's not a joke in the universe that's not offensive in some way to some group of people.
No.
It's just the way that you do it. And some jokes you probably just shouldn't tell.
Right. Like, in the comedy special when Dana Carvey was talking about the Irish Airlines.
Yeah.
Like, he could have taken that and really made it offensive.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Right.
He was just like, yep. And then, like, I mean, he was making fun of the general environment of it. But, like, he was doing it in that lighthearted way.
Yeah.
And, like, Irish people could be offended by that.
Yeah.
So.
They're too busy drinking.
Yeah. I feel like it's so hard to get an Irish man offended. But, like, there would be no comedy.
Right.
Like, there would be no comedy.
Right.
Like, how can you make a joke that's not offensive?
This is one that sticks out is like Chris Farley did the Lunch Lady Land special on SNL. Dude, we could have had a Lunch Lady riot in the United States after that.
Look at Dana Carvey and the church lady.
Yeah.
He
could have pissed off the entire church.
That could have been easily offensive.
Yeah.
If you're super Christian or religious, like...
Yeah. Or all the impressions that he did on Master of Disguise.
Oh.
Or when he got called by George Bush, like, he could have been called and said, hey, screw you, stop doing this.
Oh, George Bush could have been like, hey. Because, I mean, he was being very... kind of played him off like...
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot.
So he could have gotten a call from them and be like, hey, stop it.
But no, Bush was like, you're good.
Yeah, I like it.
You do a good impression of me.
But honestly, if I got to the point where I got known and a comedian in his stand-up special like poked fun at me, I'd be like, I'm so honored.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know if you know, she's a conservative, like, I don't know, activist. I don't know if I would call her an activist, but she's just a big conservative speaker. Candace Owens, have you heard of her?
No.
Okay. Well, she's this, like, she's a black conservative speaker, and she speaks on, like, anything. Well, Kevin Hart, on his comedy special, was talking about her, and he was being, poking fun at her, and everyone's like, are you gonna get offended? She's like, no, I'm actually, like, honored that he was talking about me. She's like, no, I can take a joke.
Yeah.
Poke fun of me.
Which I think is, like, the right response, because if you're actually being hateful, that's one thing. But if you're poking fun, it's like, okay, like, try to see the humor in it.
Yeah, like, I don't know exactly what he said, but I remember reading it, and I was like, as borderline?
Yeah.
His joke was, like, a little borderline offensive,
yeah,
but she was like, hey.
Yeah.
He's mentioning me. Like,
right, yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Like, I can take a joke. I know he's not being,
Yeah.
And I think that's, like, what you kind of have to expect when you go to a stand-up comedy.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know.
And if you actually have to say that, like, it's just a joke, then, like, I don't know. It's crazy.
It is. Like, I don't know. I just don't get why people get offended. Because, like, there's things that comedians have said that I'm, like, not even offended or don't agree with. I'm like, okay, this just isn't funny.
Right.
But I'm like, you're the worst.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Just turn on Dana Carvey.
Exactly. Just put on Master of Disguise. What's another funny line? He's like, oh, I'm going to be the Master of Disguise. That movie's just...
It was so good.
If you guys haven't watched it, you need to go watch it.
You need to.
Like, right now.
And I know some of you are like, oh, but it's so badly rated. Well...
Just watch it.
Just watch it.
That's it.
Try to make it halfway through. And then if you
At least to the turtle scene.
Yeah, make it to the turtle scene.
Just make the part where he goes, turtle.
Turtle. That's like the iconic scene from the movie, though.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
It's
like Wayne's World, right? Where they're like, swing.
Yeah.
Or excellent.
I also love the impression in Master of Disguise when he was like the quote-unquote entertainer at the party.
Oh. That was great.
Yeah.
That was great. He's just so good at, like, any impression.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen Jimmy Fallon has that like wheel of impression?
Yeah, yeah.
And he was on it. It was so funny.
Yeah.
It was so funny. It was, oh my God. Oh. No, that Jimmy Fallon plays Mick Jagger. Does an impression of Mick Jagger.
Okay.
Not Dana Carvey. But he does, oh, that's what I was thinking of. Dana Carvey does a great Paul McCartney.
Okay.
Like a great Paul McCartney.
Yeah. I think you showed me that, yeah.
Well, at first, like, okay. I'm a huge Beatles fan.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, he's doing a really good job. But then I went to Paul McCartney's concert, and I listened to him, I was like...
That's spot on.
Dude, he's talking exactly like Paul McCartney.
Right.
Like, dude, it was spot on.
Right.
Like, the way he tells the stories, like, the way Paul tells the stories, the content of how he tells the story, like, Dana Carvey. You got it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it was packed with peanuts. I had a Snickers bar. So I turned to John. So great.
Good stuff, though.
He's great. He's so underrated.
Yeah.
Like, people look at me weirdly when I say Dana Carvey is one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah. He's good.
They're like, what? Dana Carvey? Yes.
Yes.
Have you not seen his stuff? Forget Wayne's World.
Right.
Even though he was great in Wayne's World.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why it's like, especially these days, like, you need that comedy, man.
1000%.
Yeah.
Well, and, you know, now that we're, like, doing these things on comedians and stuff,
Yeah.
I'll go back and, like, rewatch their stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you forget how good comedies used to be compared to, like, I can't remember the last, Hangover was the last comedy that people were actually quoting lines from and, like, had memorable lines that they're just not making those kind of, like, comedy, like, movies anymore.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Is that just me?
No, that's kind of it. I know a lot of people are doing stand-up now, like, in the last several years, but I miss, like, a movie.
Like Tommy Boy?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, man.
It's, like, I don't know.
Well, it's partly, like, I feel like, the people that I really like as well. Like, from that era, like... Okay, Robin Williams and Chris Farley, like, they're not around anymore. So you can't even go see their stuff.
Exactly.
Dana Carvey kind of got out of Hollywood. Mm-hmm. So you can't see a whole lot of his stuff. And then...
But even Adam Sandler's stuff hasn't been that great lately.
Well, he just hasn't done a whole lot of comedies lately. Like, he's done a few, like, serious stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's done...
But you even...
He did one comedy lately.
Did he?
That Halloween one.
Oh, okay.
It was stupid.
But, like, yeah, even that, it's like there's not a movie like Billy Madison or The Waterboy anymore.
Today, Junior. Oh, yeah, like, those two. Like, if most people our age, if you say Billy Madison, they're probably going to say what I just said.
Right.
Or... Stop staring at me, Swan. Like, there's just those lines that everyone knows.
Yeah. Or The Waterboy. Hey, Waterboy, Gatorade sucks.
You can do it.
That's high quality H2O.
Mama.
Mama said, Mom said, Mama said.
Or even, like Big Daddy.
Yeah.
Like, there's just... so many, I don't know.
We're gonna miss McDonald's breakfast.
Scuba Steve. That one doesn't have any more, like, super quotable
Excuse me, I
lines.
wet the bed. Oh!
Yeah.
The entire sheet.
Oh my god. It was just like... There's also, like, I feel like back then, there were comedy actors like that,
Yeah.
right? Like, you had those people, like Sandler,
Yeah.
who you knew, okay, these people know comedy.
Yeah.
Now, it's like...
They're putting The Rock in a comedy? Which, like, to his point, he's good, but, like...
He is good, but, like...
He's an action star doing comedies.
Yeah. Like, even the comedies, like, Jumanji, that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
The newer one.
Yeah.
Jack Black's okay. He's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But, like, that had action in it.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
It's just different. It's not like the old...
Well, because, like, Tommy Boy was a comedy. It had a good storyline to it.
Yeah.
But it was a comedy.
But that's what made it so funny. Is because it wasn't being overtly funny. It was just funny within...
Yeah.
The character.
Yeah.
Right? Like, his character wasn't being that, like, exaggerate, like, crazy.
Yeah.
That was just his character.
Right.
And even when he was crazy, you were like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like, whoa.
When it's also like, I'm going to go see a Chris Farley movie, I know I'm going to laugh my butt off.
You know he's going to break a table.
Yeah.
You know he's going to start screaming. Loudly. His voice is going to dramatically start increasing.
He might even take his shirt off. I don't know.
Most likely. He, you know, like...
But if, like, I'm going to go see The Rock movie, it's going to be like, okay, am I going to get an action movie or a comedy or...
Yeah, they don't have, like, the comedic actors anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, who wants to be in a comedy?
Yeah.
Who wants to be in a drama?
And it's... This makes me mad. Who was the guy in Hangover?
Which one?
Not the glasses. Not Ed.
Because there's, like, the fat guy?
No.
There's Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper. Why could I not remember his name? But he was hysterically funny in The Hangover, but he's also done, like, incredibly serious stuff, too.
Yeah. He was... I don't know. I feel like Zach Galifianakis was the best in that one.
He was.
Come here, fat Jesus. I mean, you have Ken Jeong. He's pretty known for comedy.
Yeah.
But, like...
But outside of The Hangover, I don't know a whole lot of his stuff. That's
he doesn't... Yeah. No, but, like... Bradley Cooper now, he's more drama and serious.
Yeah.
And Zach Galifianakis, he does comedies, but he's not in a lot.
Yeah.
He did that Zach Galifianakis show, which was funny.
Yeah, that was good.
Because the way he interviewed celebrities was...
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was great.
Did you see when he interviewed Hillary Clinton?
No.
And he's like, hold on, we have to take a sponsor, and it was Trump. It was so great. And then he goes, she's like, why would you play that? And he's like, what did he say? He's like, money. And he's like, well, this has been great. How can I contact you to come back on? Email? And she just looked and then he clicks something and it says, you got mail. It was so great. He's funny.
That's the kind of stuff that we need, though.
Exactly.
Like, if you turn that into a movie,
Oh my God.
that'd be great. Dude, I could watch an hour and a half of him just interviewing people.
Oh, I know. But, like, I feel like that's the difference, though. Because even, like, Jim Carrey's old movies, like Liar Liar.
Yeah.
Like, it had a storyline to it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, and that makes
like,
it
and if you think
funny.
about it, the storyline by itself is kind of sad. Because, like,
it's
about a kid who makes his birthday wish that he wishes his dad didn't lie as much. Like, that's heartbreaking.
Sad. That's sad.
Or, like, Chris Farley, like, in Tommy Boy, like...
losing his dad.
His dad died, so he has to take over the company, and he has no idea how to do that.
Right.
Like, that's kind of depressing.
But they make it...
They made it hilarious.
So funny.
Yeah. Did you ever see Mrs. Doubtfire, too? Dude...
I do a great impression of a hot dog.
But like that.
But
Robin Williams...
It's sad.
Divorces his wife. They have to decide about, like, the children, custody of the kids.
Well, he in order to see his children, he dresses up as...
Which is...
a nanny. And that's sad.
Which, in the movie, they play it off as, like, kind of humorous. But if you think about it, that's depressing.
The general premise of it, right, is sad.
Like, the line, like, I haven't been away for my kids for a day since they were born, and now you're just taking them away from me. Like, that's heartbreaking.
It is. But, like, I feel like that's the genius of it, is because they're taking something that we all can go through.
Yeah.
Or they're taking tragedies.
And finding the humor in them.
And finding some kind of humor, but also, like, working through it, right? Like in Tommy Boy. He saved the company.
Right.
And I think that's the difference. Like in Doubtfire, he didn't just give up.
Right.
He became a nanny.
Right. It's like, he could have given up, but he was like, okay, how can I see my kids?
Right.
And
Exactly.
And if I have to dress up as a woman, hey, that's how it's going to be.
That movie's great.
It is. Oh, I love it.
When he puts the pie in his face.
All right, we can't talk too much about this. We're going to talk about Robin later.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you even think of, like, Wayne's World.
Yeah.
It doesn't have, like, that kind of depressing tone to it.
Yeah.
But it has, like, where, if you think about it, they're two random potheads that are in their basement.
Right.
Doing a TV show.
Yeah.
Being totally inappropriate about girls.
Right. And it's great.
But even that deals with, like, a serious stuff, too, right? In Wayne's World, because they're going to... These people in the music industry are trying to screw them over, basically.
Yeah.
And actually, I forgot, he lost everything in that movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wayne's.
That's right.
He did, right?
Yeah.
Because he got fired.
Mm-hmm.
His girlfriend broke up with him. So, yeah. I feel like a lot of those comedies did have those, like, tragedies.
Yeah. I miss the 90s / early 2000s.
You have no idea.
Man. And not just because we were kids and didn't have responsibilities, but because entertainment was better back then.
Oh my God, in every aspect. Movies, music.
Yeah.
Just everything was better.
Yeah.
I miss pop punk, okay? Miss Panic and My Chemical Romance. I didn't really like them. But...
And the older Green Day.
The good music. When it was played on the radio. But...
Anyway.
I just do have a love for Dana Carvey, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. He's, in my opinion, one of the greats.
I think so.
Yeah. And he's also one of those guys, I know we talked about Chris being the same way, but Dana was one of those guys, like, you only get once in a generation.
Oh, yeah.
If that. Like, guys like him are not around left and right.
No.
There's just that, I mean, he just has that talent that is so genius.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think, like you said before, like, he's underrated in that sense. Like, he deserves to be, like, yeah.
I always felt like him and Jim Carrey, their just brand of comedy is, like, You can't manufacture that. Like,
No.
that's just...
Or you can't, like, even if you did, you can't just learn it. Like, you're born with that, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's better not manufactured, but, like, you can't just replicate it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just... Yeah, no one can just go, okay, I want to be like him.
You can't.
You can't. Like, even the way that... Well, okay. I could go on about Jim Carrey, too. But, like, even the way he plays Garth, like, he doesn't have... Like, if you think about it, Garth isn't, like, a huge role.
Yeah.
He's really not.
Right.
But, like, everyone knows...
They
Garth.
know him. They know
It's
him.
Garth.
They know him, yeah.
And he's like, yeah, man. It's cool.
It is cool, man.
Excellent. Party time. Excellent.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. Go watch his film.
Yeah. Go watch SNL.
Oh, yeah.
Go watch his stand-up. You just showed me that, a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it's
It's good.
60 straight white male.
Yeah. It's good.
That's the title of it. It's on Netflix. Go watch it.
Yeah. And then, go watch Wayne's World. Go watch Master of Disguise.
For sure.
For sure.
Especially Wayne's World.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's definitely Mike Myers' brand of comedy.
Yeah.
But, like, it's so funny.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
He's another underrated one, too.
Yeah. For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
We gotta get this younger generation to know good
Right.
comedy. Go watch Master of Disguise right now.
But I don't know. I feel like this generation's humor is just different. Where if they saw them, they're like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Why is that funny that he's a turtle? It's like, okay, but did you
It doesn't make any sense.
Did you see the way he did it?
That's not the point.
Did you see he's literally wearing a turtle costume?
But like, it's not funny. Okay, Chad.
All right. Xer. Instead of okay, boomer. There's so... I feel like you're right, though. If they were to watch that, they'd be like...
It's stupid.
Was this funny? It's not funny. Okay. Sorry there's not rap in it.
Sorry nobody dabbed.
You're right.
This was in the 90s when people actually had to be funny.
You actually had to work.
What?
At being funny. And make something.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like even in the 90s it was underrated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Anyway.
All right.
Good stuff. We'll let you go about your week/year.
Remember, walk in slowly. Don't touch anything. We're just going to see how this year goes.
Right? We were saying on New Year's Eve, like, everybody goes into the new year like, oh yeah, this is my year. Okay, we need to stop that. And I was saying, like, okay, everybody just needs to hold hands and just pray.
Yeah, right? We all just need to, like... That's what I was... Where I got that thing that I said earlier. Because I think that's what I was telling you, and you're like, we just all need to pray.
Yeah.
It's on TikTok, and everyone's like, no, we're not going to say anything. You walk in carefully, you be quiet, you don't touch anything. And we're just going to sit down and see where this year takes us.
Because literally, if we don't do anything, it'll be a better year.
Right. Well, don't jinx it.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Not that if you believe in jinx, but like, don't jinx it.
Right.
We're not going to say, it's going to be my year. No.
No. That's what we said last time.
No.
It was nobody's year last time.
No.
No one.
No one.
Except for corporations.
Amazon.
I mean, him and a lot of other people, but we kind of focus on him.
Yeah. Well, because Amazon was like the biggest.
Yeah. And like you saw this list of like corporations that came out of this pandemic richer than when it started. It's like, oh, interesting.
Which, yeah, I mean, we could get off on a whole thing about that.
Yeah. I'd rather not.
Yeah, because it's just gonna make me mad.
We just talked about Dana Carvey.
I know. I have to go watch Master of Disguise.
Anyway.
Just so I can hear about I'm going to be the Master of Disguise.
Anyway.
All right. Yes. Have a good week.
Have a good week, y'all. Keep it tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And just, hang in there.
Yeah. Hang in there. We'll see you next week.
Later.
See ya.